easy feelings you have about your life is a setup, a precursor to move you through those unsatisfying situations. It's almost like something comes in and spares you from going through another day of that compromise. All right? Nothing that happens in your life should ever come as a surprise, as long as you take the 15 minutes a day to write down in your journal, the journal, what is out of the ordinary, unusual, satisfying, or not. It will show you, it will show itself first through the things you are saying to other people, what you are saying to yourself. Thoughts that make you feel insecure and fearful. And seeing yourself out of that situation where it is no longer a part of your life. So that's how your life does not take your life. It's by taking the initiative to write in your journal for 15 minutes a day about what is unusual, out of the ordinary, satisfying, or not. It lets you get real with yourself. You know what it really does? It does the number one thing that most people have a real hard time with: telling the truth. You don't have to depend on somebody else accepting that truth, except for you, because it's in your journal. It's on the pages. It's about what you wrote. It's about how it felt. And once you have that, now you can realize what that is. What is that feeling? What is it that you've had enough of, okay, that you want to change, alter, do differently, be yourself? When you feel the power of what you realized, only then can you take action on it. That's the fourth qualifying question here. In every single one, on every single page that you put an entry into, 15 minutes a day, all right? My Guided Journey, you get it right on Amazon. It's the flagship book to my, it's the companion journal to my flagship book, Guided. So that's the only reason this exists, is because people who read my flagship book, Guided, came to me in droves asking me how to do this, how this works. All right?
That's a heck of a book there. It's not just a journal.
Right.
It's a workbook where Linda takes you by the hand and takes you back through your life to things where you learned when you were a child. And
it helps you see the truth, you guys. That's the problem. You know, the truth has become damning in this world. Why? Why is the truth so hard to accept? Only once you can see the truth, accept the truth, can you have the power to go true north and make the connection and be all that you are, to live the life you intended. But if you're playing games with your life, if you can't face the truth, if you can't handle the truth, if you feel like the truth is punishing you, or you don't want to hear that any of that, then life will take your life. Before you know it, you'll be at the end of the life that you're in, and you'll be filled with regrets, which you should be if you let that happen.
That's where you end up. You know, it's interesting. I was doing a little research on this today, and people have different ways that they like to explain don't let your life take your life. You know, if you say, well, you know, don't let your life take your life, what does that mean? Well, people kind of explain it a couple different ways. They say, well, life gets in the way. Yeah. That's one thing they say. Well, you know,
that's an excuse.
I meant to do this, but life got in the way. Some of them say, I ran out of time. Or they say, there's never enough time. There never seems to be enough time.
And everybody has the same amount of time.
That's right. That was my next line here. Are you a mind reader besides being a wonderful psychic and a medium? And everybody has the same amount.
You're right.
So how can you run out of time? All right. It's how you use your time.
Right.
I mean, everybody's got the same amount. Are you overextended in how you meter out your time? It's have like time wasters. Are you overextended with time wasters?
Okay, what's happening is life is running your life. You don't have control over your life. You're not choosing your life. Of course you are. You came into this life having selected everything you intended to accomplish once you got here. So what was that? What happened to that? Okay. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay, so these people who say they ran out of time or they're worried about running out of time in their life, I got to do this. I really got to do this. I always wanted to do this.
Those are all excuses.
Yeah, okay. And I found some really interesting quotes about people making excuses about why they're
So who do we have with us so far?
We have a star-studded cast here. Joy Woodward on a road trip.
Joy.
To Sedona.
Yes.
We saw those great pictures.
Joy was with us this weekend, Saturday, at our live event.
And Mary Elizabeth. Hi, Mary Elizabeth. Welcome.
Hi, Mary Elizabeth. So happy to have you. All right. Most people watch this on the replay, usually within 24 hours of the time that we've done this. So anyway, go ahead, Ray.
People are getting home. Yeah, anyhow, I found some really interesting, and I thought were really cool quotes about time and doing what you
Ray
want to
does
do.
his research. It's awesome.
Well, I like quotes anyhow. So, F. Scott Fitzgerald said this: "It's never too late to be who you want to be." It's never too late.
Right. That's right.
It's that getting started part.
It is a choice.
Right. Another one was, you have to let go of the idea that you must always be who you always were.
You know what that feels like? That feels like you've made this, everybody has, in your family, your friends, the people you work with, whatever, they've gotten to know you the way that you presented yourself. And, most people they're not who they are. They're who they think the person expects them to be, or the person that they've always known, them to be. Doesn't mean that's who they are. That could be just a big cover-up, a big, from the time you were a little kid, just, got to do it this way. It seems like they don't accept me for this other stuff, so I better do it the way they expect me to do it. And then you built on that. It's like building on sand, instead of on a solid foundation, on solid ground. It keeps slipping away. It keeps feeling wishy-washy. Okay, go ahead, Ray.
Couple more.
Yeah.
I really like this one. And this goes right with what you just said a little while ago. At the end of Disappointment Boulevard lies the town of regret.
Mm.
You know who said that? Ray Holly. I made that one up. Happiness. I don't have enough time to be happy. Here's this time thing again. Mm. Happiness is letting go of what you think your life is supposed to look like.
Happiness is letting go of what you. Okay, so it's something that has to do with some expected outcome,
right?
That you had in mind that doesn't seem to be materializing, right?
Right. So you're running out of time.
So it's not washing. It's just not working out. You got to know when to hold them, fold them, walk away, and run. You got to know when to cut that stuff out.
So you get to that last part of writing down things in your journal where you have to take action, and this one kind of falls into that. I really like this one. Plant your own garden and decorate your own soul instead of waiting around for someone to bring you flowers.
There you go. And who said that, Ray?
It was anonymous.
Okay.
Mr. Anonymous. He gets a lot of these.
And that's really it. What it comes down to is one word. We actually talked about this in Saturday's event. Permission. How come you need permission? Everybody seems to need permission before they can do these kind of things.
That was me.
It's a lot of people. We know a lot of people who struggle with this because they don't feel like their significant other can handle the real them. They can handle the truth. Because once again, they met up with that relationship as being something other than who they really are. A far cry from who they really are, who they're beginning to realize they are.
And it's not their fault. They did that in the beginning so they could put their best foot forward for that new job, for that new relationship.
You learned it when you were really small.
Right.
You know, part 2 of my guided journey digs into where you made those decisions when you were 3 years old, 5 years old. Really? You were so ill-equipped to make them. But you know what? You were forced to make them based on the attitudes and the behavior and expectations of everyone around you. That's what trapped you. That's where this began.
Yeah, before you were forced to make decisions, you just knew.
You did. And then, you know what you did? When they would ask you something, you just blah, blah, blah. You just said what you knew, and it got you in a lot of trouble. Okay, because you just say the truth, you know? And then people would be so offended by that truth. As I mentioned earlier, when did the truth become so damning? And I want to say this about the guides. The guides, here's how they describe themselves. They come from truth and love. And there's no distinction between these two things, by the way. If you are being told the truth, you will feel the love if it's really true. You will feel that whoever's telling you that truth, no matter what it is, that they're telling it to you because they care about you, because they love you, because of that, not because they're trying to go and just drive some truth into you and hurt your feelings and make you feel degraded. No, that is not the truth. That's an insult to you. That's somebody who doesn't know how to be connected. Somebody who doesn't know how to connect with you or anybody, okay? That would do that would assault you in that way, all right? Humiliate you in that way. Degrade you in that way. But you know, you guys, it's always up to you. You're the one that has the power. You're the one in control when you're connected. You can feel, someone could lay something on you that's just nasty, all right? It might have some truth in it, but you know what? You'll reject the whole thing because it didn't come across that way. The tone was not from love. The delivery was not from love. The intention was not through love that they brought that truth to light to you. And immediately, like you did when you were a little kid, you dug your heels in and you rejected it. You rejected them. So you missed, if there was some grain of truth in what they just said to you, you would have missed the whole thing because you rejected them because of their harshness, like fingernails on a chalkboard. You know, it was just not necessary the way that they did that.
Because the little kid feels it.
The kid knows.
The kid feels,
yes,
what I just heard, they can know
was mean
or true or not, right?
It was
they know
mean.
If it's true or not because of how they feel. If they feel love, I mean, if somebody tells you as you're growing up in life that they love you, and you don't feel love, they're lying.
They are. There's no truth in that. And you know, the little kids, the smaller they are, the better they are at detecting this stuff.
Yeah.
And that was you. That was you. That's why when you go back to chapter 2 and you dig into these parts of you that are still tender, that you didn't get the truth, you didn't get the answer to your why questions. Remember that?
Ooh,
you never stopped asking them, right? You drove everybody crazy and they said, shut up.
Why?
Stop it.
You know, they have the ultimate answer. And all parents have the same answer. Why? Because I'm the parent. That's why.
Because I said so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's not an answer. That's an insult. That's another, you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's what else I found fascinating. That all of these ways that they described life, taking your life, you know, life got in the way, I'm running out of time, there's never enough time. They all pointed to one thing: priorities. You don't have a time problem, you have a priority problem. And when the definition of the words priority is the condition of being regarded or treated as more important than something else.
Right.
Okay.
And that would start with you.
Right.
You've been taught to be something that other people can handle. Somebody that everybody wanted you to be. Wanted you to love, think, do. Okay, let me finish my thought here
Oh, yeah.
without rolling over me. but that's what you learned from, okay? That's all they could handle in this world. They couldn't handle the real you, the you that came here on that very first day, the real you, all right? That's why you retreated. That's why it's largely just this part of you that moves through this world. And then you know something's missing. You don't want life to take your life, but you feel the void. You feel that something's missing. It is, as long as you're not present. You have to come back. Again, that's where this journal takes over. And we use this journal in the event I did on Saturday, in the journal writing. That's where it's my journal writing, part 3. We used a page in that journal for journal entry to get people to move through it, to get all of you to move through it and experience the process. Experience it. So you can start to see the value in this journal writing for 15 minutes a day, you guys. It's the only way that you're going to clean up all that programming, all those, demands on you, all that, the way you're supposed to be, what you should do, the only thing they can accept. The only way you're going to clean all that off so you can get back to who it is you are, who you really are, and bring that. I'm not talking about throwing this away. I'm talking about integrating it with who you really are, because then this starts to support who that is, not cause it to retreat again. That's a tender part of you. The real part of you, the soul-driven part of you, is very, very tender. And it needs this to be kinder and softer and more supportive. So that when this starts to come back and it supports it, this starts to trust this more. And pretty soon you're back together again. Pretty soon you are. And then you start having friends that are like that, and you start, living it out every day. Life is no longer taking your life. You're just beginning to learn how to live it and be in one piece. So once you get your sea legs under you and you feel strong enough from having this connection and this relationship you have with other people of like minds, you know what? You can never retreat again. You will never retreat again. And you will have yourself together where you can now move on the guidance that comes through without worrying about, what are they going to think in this world? Are they going to accept me? Am I going to be rejected? Am I going to lose my marriage? And you know what? Some of that might happen. I always talk to you guys about the consequences. It could happen. It happened to me. Read my flagship book, Guided. Oh, I had all kinds of consequences, but I never missed my life, okay? And you guys, I've had a blast in my life. My life has been a dream come true because I didn't let them in this world squash, put the kibosh on me, on my true self. My true self was on fire, alive, awake, and connected, okay? And they couldn't take it away from me. They tried, and I just couldn't let them do it. I wasn't mad at him. I didn't punish him. I didn't confront them. My only thing that I did to honor that was to live my life. And I didn't worry about what they thought, okay? Were the consequences? Oh my God. Read the book. You guys won't feel so alone. But I lived my life anyway. This is the whole point. Don't miss your life. You put a lot of work into your life up to this point, not to miss it.
Right.
Go ahead, Ray.
Right. So, in this vein of not missing your life, people say things like, well, young man, you need to get your priorities in order. Okay, well, that's a silly statement. I kept reading in some of the research that's been done on this. You take the word priority and the word priorities. There really is no such word as priorities, because you either have a priority or you don't. How many see people have too many priorities, and then that's when they get into this conflicting priorities area where they can't do anything. An example would be they want to get healthy and lose weight. Okay, that's a priority. It's a priority in my life that I lose weight and get healthy. But they have another priority that says, I love food. I love to eat. I like to eat junk food. That's it. So there's two priorities there. You can't do them both. You can't.
They're conflicting.
Conflicting priorities. And you can't.
Here's how you're going to see it. Part 3 of my guided journey, you're going to see it on the pages. Okay, if you were to write down something like Ray just said, that where it conflicted, you would only then would you be able to see it solid, in a solid way, right on the page where you wrote it down and go, okay, I see where I'm in conflict with myself. I see where maybe, being healthy and going to the gym and exercising is really not going to be enough to see the result I'm looking for when I have the old programming, the old desires to have the food and the other things that work against it. Yeah.
Yeah. Going to happy hour instead of going to the gym.
You won't, here's the whole point. You won't catch it unless you write these things down. I'll tell you, when you start to see it, it seems obvious what Ray just said, but it won't seem obvious if you're struggling with it because you're in it. You can't see the bloody thing, all right? You got to write it down. When you write it down and you look back at it, and it's your issue, that somebody else might go, oh, well, that was obvious. I mean, you couldn't see that? No, I couldn't see it. I've been doing it for 20 years. How did you think I could see that?
Well, plus you never asked for help of anybody to help you find it.
Every time you write in here, it's a form of asking for help without even asking. In other words, what's going on? This is my spirit guide. Your guides are watching you do this. They're finally saying, you're finally sitting down, getting distractions out of the way, listening, remembering, and writing it down so we can help you. They're right there, you guys. They're always there. But until we slow it down and become focused and present, and nothing is more focused and present than when you're writing in here and for that 15 minutes a day. That's when they slip through. You will see it on the pages. This is amazing. Will change your life.
Okay, we have some more people join us. Marie Cloutier, Stacy's here. Howdy. Stacy says howdy. Ray says howdy. Mary Elizabeth says, Linda, I have found since I've started journaling, everything in my life is starting to rearrange itself around me for the better. Oh yeah. I started from feeling stuck, like in the Groundhog's Day situation, to now feeling like I'm back into this life. I'm supposed to live the life I'm supposed to live, the life you planned before you got here.
Right. That's it. You know how it. You know when you're beginning to move that way. When you're getting that, you know when it's starting to come together. It may not look anything like the life you're in right now.
Okay, so here's her dilemma.
Okay.
The question resides in now certain things are dropping away. By that she means friends in particular are leaving.
Consequences.
Consequences, right. So how does she gracefully handle this situation? Her friends are leaving her. She's changing. She's got her priority straight now. She's made a decision. She's taken action.
Right. Okay. What you've done is you've taken the action you needed to take, and they can feel a difference in you, so they begin to move on. Because all they would have done is kept you where you were before you started to wake up. Now, and that's a consequence of changing, you're not really changing. You're becoming who you are, is what you are. This is Mary Jan, right?
No, this is Mary Elizabeth.
Elizabeth what?
Mary Elizabeth.
Mary Elizabeth, okay. You are becoming who you are now, and that's a consequence. Okay. Now that you're back to who you are, what you want to do is you want to keep writing in your journal to see who that is. Who is this person I'm getting to know that I always knew was there, that felt a void because I wasn't being true to myself, because I was being someone that everyone expected me to be. You feel a void when you behave like that, and you have what looks like friends around you, but they're not really friends because they don't know who you really are. Now that they're getting to know just a taste of who you are, you're beginning to come out, okay? You're taking the chance. You're coming out. They're moving on. Okay, wait. They're moving on. And you have yet another void. You had a void by not moving into who you are and pretending to be who it was that they were used to. And now you have a void because you're being who you are. And the consequence is they're gone. Okay. So the void is no different than the void you used to feel all the time by not being who you are. Welcome to who you are. From now on, as long as you're true to that, and you keep writing down, Elizabeth, keep writing down.
Mary Elizabeth.
Is it Mary Elizabeth?
Mary Elizabeth.
Mary Elizabeth. You keep writing down every day in this journal about who you're discovering, who this is, who this person is, what unusual, out of the ordinary, satisfying, and dissatisfying things happened to you that day. Write them all down. And you will not feel like a victim anymore, like somebody who's just living out consequences. That all you will ever have is a void, because that's not true. You had to empty out the cup emptied itself. It's a byproduct of being who you are. That's what happened here. Let me just stay with this, Ray. That is what happened here. And now, when you go out and you are just who you are, you're not afraid to be who you are now. You built up the muscles by reinforcing it, by writing in your journal 15 minutes a day, to reinforce it so you're strong, so your sea legs aren't sea legs anymore, so you're strong. Now you're solid. Okay, you go out in the world and you be who you are, and all the people that don't appreciate that will just keep walking by you. Perfect? Yes. And the ones who like you will gravitate your way, and there you have it. Now you've got some solid ground you're building on, not sand. Go, Ray.
That's my exact point. What you just said, someone will gravitate toward you. Do you think that some of these friends who are falling away, as she sees it, okay? And,
they're not real friends.
Well, they're falling away. Do you think that some of them secretly admire who she's becoming?
Not yet.
Not yet.
No, they're not going to admire you until they see that you have reestablished yourself. Right now, the way they see you is that you are all by yourself. You are. You are. They abandoned you. They didn't, they weren't real friends. Or if they were real friends, they would have taken a moment to say, so tell me about yourself. I'm seeing changes in you, and I love and adore you. Tell me what you're learning. What is this? They would take a pause and they would talk to you about it. They'd want to know more. Because after all, your friends, they love you. Right? Isn't that how it's supposed to be? That's how it will be when you don't waver and you stay in one piece. And you keep building on this, that 15 minutes a day, and get strong in that. And when you go out, here's what's going to happen, Mary Elizabeth. You will no longer settle for less. You would no longer have those old friends in your life that don't like you, that have nothing in common with you. You are the one that would not put up with that again. You.
The fact that this group of friends who didn't want anything to change,
right,
that was the glue that kept them together. Nobody wanted to change. We're happy the way we are.
And they will stay together as long as they have that pact. But you know what? Something changed in you when you started doing your journal writing, and you found yourself. And you could no longer cut yourself out for the sake of these people who call themselves friends. I'll tell you something. The more you get in touch with yourself and the more you learn about who this is that's coming back, the more you're going to realize, and you keep writing in your journal about who that is and what's going on with you every day, you're going to find out that your best friends have always been with you. Your best friends have always been with you. They have been waiting for you to be ready. And you could never tolerate the type of friends that used to call themselves friends. Those kind of friends, again.
Yeah, Mary Elizabeth, she's picked a priority. There's only one priority. You can only have one priority. You can't have half a priority over here and half a priority back with the group of friends. Well, I'll be like with them sometime, and I'll be my old self.
Here's the thing: once you bring this back into play, the true you, the real you, back into play, you could never live in just this world again, and be a shadow of yourself and settle for that. What do we have? We've got some more things going on there, Ray.
We do. Marie says, I use my guides a lot. Oops, moving here. And have been journaling for a long time.
Well, that would make sense. I know you're telling the truth, because when you do the journal writing, you cannot miss it. The connection is there, and it gets stronger. You can't miss it.
And they answer her, with her journaling, they answer her
through her writing.
It's
called automatic writing.
Right.
You will see when you do the journaling and you do it for 15 minutes every day, you take that moment. It is an investment in you, in the real you, to make sure the real you is still present. The real you is still there. Okay, it's a test. It's a checkup.
Yeah, you're writing your new life.
And you will see when you have that. When you do that, you're connected. And when that happens, your spirit guides will infiltrate your writing, because now you're connected, and it's like you're talking and they're talking to you, and you're talking and you're having a conversation on the pages. It will fascinate you guys. That's what I started learning at 7 years old when I was journal writing, when I had to make sense of what was going on in my life. Because in the 50s, even in the 60s, even now, people don't understand this. I had to do the work myself. That's why I know this. Go, Ray.
This whole thing really gets back to your priority. What is your priority? Not priorities. The one thing I saw, one saying says, get your ducks in a row. It said, no matter how many ducks you have in a row, there's still a lead duck. That's the number one priority.
That would be you.
Right.
Okay. Not without you in this world. This is the world, the you that has learned to live in this world, because you are here. You have to learn how to live in this world. You agreed to this before you came here, but not without the real you. This is a co-creation situation, okay? And you can't make the decisions. You can't be true to yourself, and you can't live the life you intended unless you are in one piece.
Right. That gets back to what you talked about on Saturday, making great decisions, because when you're trying to pick this priority, the decision you have to make is, which one do you care about the most? Do you care about doing this and becoming a different person and being true to yourself, or do you care more about fitting in, or what they'll say, or what people will think about me? I
will say this, the stress that goes with what Ray just said here, if you're just in this world, what will they think about me, and all the sellouts that you tell yourself, if that's what's going on, you're going to feel, here's how you're going to know you're doing it. You're going to have anxiety, and you're going to feel anxiety and depression, wavering back and forth, anxiety and depression. It's going to constantly haunt you, and people take pills for it instead of dealing with the problem. All that's going on is they have been notified by the fact that they're uneasy in this world, that they feel the anxiety and the depression, that something's missing. Something is wrong. But it's not that something's wrong with them, it's that something is missing. You are missing in action.
Right.
It's time to go back and bring that person back into play, because you know the landscape is different now. The environment for you is different now. You don't have the pressure of your parents on you anymore. You may have married somebody that expects you to be that person, almost like a fraud that you portrayed yourself to be, that they expect you to be now, your kids and everybody. You know, I know how that feels too. And you have to just give them notice. First, what you do, here's how you get through that. You write in your journal until you're strong, not where you're wavering and you're still scared. No, do not enter into confronting any of these people until you are strong. That won't happen until you do the work in 15 minutes a day. You write in your journal and you flush this stuff out, and you're going to get mad and you're going to be sad and you're going to be glad and you're going to be all those things as you write this stuff out. You're going to slip back. You're going to advance forward. You're going to see it all. This is how you're going to get strong. When you finally feel strong, and what I mean by strong is when you can give them notice, this is who I am. It's not just me in this world, okay, but I brought myself back. Now it's me in this world. My whole self is back, and I'm no longer a fraud. I am no longer pretending to be something just so you guys will like me. You know, in fact, there's a lot of parts of me that you probably didn't like, just like I didn't like, because all that I was doing was living in this world. I'm gonna be who I am, and you can make your own choices. But I gotta be who I am. I gotta be in one piece, not broken and dragging a leg and missing that whole part of me and pretending my way through it, and so I don't disappoint anybody and upset anybody. And you know what? They already know something's wrong. They do. They can feel it. Everybody can feel it. They may not like all of you. They may love all of you. But you can't cheat yourself like that anymore. And I'll tell you this too. When you can step up your game and just be who you are, do the work, flush it out, make sure you're strong before you come out. Before you come out sounds like somebody's hiding in the closet and can I finally come out now? I mean, that's ridiculous. Of course you can come out now. And you come out and you're brave enough to do this and be who you are. Some of the people may not like you, but you know what they will do? They will respect you.
Right.
And I know this for a fact. I've said to many people in my life, you may not like me, but you do respect me. And they always agreed with that. And I can't be something that I'm not just because you can't handle it. Or because you think I should do this or should do, there's the shoulds and stuff. It's just, I am who I am, And that's true with you. You just, until you're strong enough, can you announce that and come out. I hate to use this term, but come out of that closet. That's what it is. And cut out the fake life part of it that you've been living, so life does not take your life, and you don't wind up living a life of regret. You didn't come here to do that this time. Okay.
And quit asking for permission.
You are going to be an example. Yeah, you are going to be an example to everybody in your life. You're going to give them, they're going to sit back and go, well, if she can be who she is, I should be able to do that for myself. They may never say that to you because they're scared. Remember what it was like just to be in this world and not have yourself back yet? All you did is you kind of sat back and you went, well, I'll watch Mikey. You remember the Life commercial? Mikey likes it. Okay, we'll try it. Okay. It's the Mikey effect.
Tell Mikey.
That's what you're doing. You're the leader of the pack. You're stepping out. You're getting this figured out for them to learn by example. You can't preach it. You can't teach it. all they're going to do is they're going to watch you do it. They're going to watch you walk through the flames and say, wow, she did it. I can do it too. Some of them will say that. Some of them will retreat.
Right.
It's the same old thing. It wouldn't matter if you didn't change. They'd still question themselves the same way, throughout their life. So don't worry about what they're going to think of you. They're going to be amazed by you, okay? They may never admit it. They may admit it 20 years from now. Don't worry about it. Just don't miss your life. Go ahead, Ray.
Okay, a couple of comments. Mary Elizabeth says, thank you. You always have the best advice from a big heart.
I love you guys.
And Marie says, it is a blessing. I guess your advice is a blessing.
Well, you know what? I believe in you guys. In fact, I believe in you guys more than you believe in yourself until you can do this. And you know when you can believe in yourself as much as I do? When you come back into the picture and you are in one piece again, and you guys are so close, so close.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Marie has a question. A little confused. I'm going to ask for a little clarification on this one, Marie. Marie says, I wonder if my guides have a message for the clearing of my house. The clearing of my house. Make it lighter.
I know, I got it.
It is hard because of past lack.
Yeah. In other words, the energy that the residue of the old energy, is it interrupting your growth going forward? And we're going to I'm pretty sure that's where you're coming from there, because when you experience something like you have, it concerns you that something, etherical in the energy field could be holding you back, and let's find out if that's true, okay? And we're going to let your guides come through and talk to you about that, okay? We got that, Ray?
We got it. Marie, you are putting too much emphasis of control on what's happened in the past by going back and examining the past again and again really doesn't change the past, nor does it even give you an accurate description of how the past actually happened and why. You tend to see things like you would have rather had them shake out than how they actually did. This feeling of something lacking is all in the way you look at the future. If you are stuck thinking that the energy from the past was negative or lacking in anything, you automatically expect the future to be more of the same. That is a false prediction, because the possibilities for the future are endless and you cannot see it. You must only think about the present. What is it you can do right now in even a small way, a baby step into the future that will move you in the direction that you want to go.
Okay. Let me get my thoughts around this for a minute. This is a matter of feeling powerful or not. I had everybody working against me. I talked about it in my book, Guided. I mean, everyone in my family worked against me. It's almost like as soon as I got out of that family with my life, it's almost like I didn't even notice that they were working against me. And when they did work against me right blatantly in my face, I remembered it. I remembered that that's the way it used to be. Did you hear what I said? That was the way it used to be. That's what the pressure I used to be under when I had no choice. When I couldn't get away from it. I was just a kid. I couldn't get away from them. But at 16, when I got away from them, that's the way it used to be. I never let them have me again. I was never under their thumb where they could try to squeeze the life out of me, so to speak. Take my essence away, try to just destroy me from the inside out, do me in, defeat me. Okay, it never freaking ended. But when I got out of it, I'm talking about getting out of your environment. That's what I did. I got out of that childhood environment. And when they pulled those stunts on me, and they never stopped. They have never stopped even to this day. They keep throwing daggers at me. What is that? Okay, so I'm just saying that it's a matter of feeling powerful. And when you feel this power coming through you, and you know who that is? That's you. That's just you, alive, excited about living this life, the life you came here to live. Not the one people keep trying to throw you off base and distract you and confuse you and control you and whatever, okay? Defeat you. When you see that, you just look at it out there and go, that's the way it used to be. That's not the way it is now. And it doesn't affect you. Write it down, what happened, what shenanigan they pulled on you, so that you see how you're doing. How much are you together? Okay? How strong and present are you? Okay? That's going to be how you're going to know how you're doing. It's a process, you guys, as you build your strength, as you come back into the picture, and now you're in one piece. Now you've got what it takes. And when it comes back at you and somebody does that and reminds you of it and whatever it is, that no longer affects you. That's the way it used to be. Just remember that. That's not the way it is. It is not about smudging the energy out of the house or anything like that. No, this has to do with your power. You have the power, not a smudge stick that could, does it work a week from now? Do I need to use it again? No, this comes from you. This works no matter where you are, no matter who's around you, no matter what's going on. This always works. Because this comes from the inside out. All right? And you guys, you're going to like who you are. I mean that. You're going to love who you are.
Okay. Who else has joined us? Veronica Baca joined us.
Veronica was at our Saturday event along with Joy. I can't believe you made it, Veronica. Veronica is in Sedona today, right?
No, she went home today.
Oh, went home.
Yes,
okay.
She must be home.
Okay.
Or sitting in an airport somewhere with a Wi-Fi.
Veronica went up to Sedona after the event.
With Joy.
With Joy. And they've got awesome pictures. Did they put them on?
They did. They put a lot of them. Put more up.
Okay, put more up. Yeah, and we saw the pictures. They posted some on the timeline, right, Ray?
Yeah, they did.
So you guys can see them there, on our Facebook timeline.
Places I remember.
I know. So what else do we have, Ray?
We have, Marie says, very powerful answer. Oh, yep. Here we go. Put a few of these up here. There we go. Wow. Very powerful answer. thank you. I will take my power.
That's right, because it's yours. No one has the right to squelch that and push that down and repress that. Nobody has that right, you guys.
And Mary Elizabeth must have seen the picture. She said, it was so cool seeing all of you together.
I know. It was awesome. It was great. It's the first time we all met each other in the flesh at the same time.
At the same time, yeah. It's the first time that Joy and Veronica and Kathy all
met physically.
Because they've been talking
working
Zoom for the last 2 years.
They've been working with this in the Facebook group we have called Ask the Universal Channel for several years now. And they together have learned to use this really well because of them working together like that. And it was only Saturday when they actually physically met each other. It was awesome.
It was awesome.
All right. The three sisters, Ray.
Yep.
Okay, so.
That was like the rock up there. Didn't we see the three sisters in their pictures, I think?
Yeah. So what we're going to, before the spirit guides close tonight's session about don't let life take your life, I've got a few announcements. All right.
And we have an important announcement to make, too.
We do. Let me start with that. For those of you who missed my live event this weekend, November 9th, in Phoenix, Arizona, entitled Knowing What to Do and When to Do It, you can get the on-demand replay. You'll find that in the description of this video. It'll say on-demand replay of this entire event. So look for it in the description of this video. And Ray, what do you have to announce about when the people who sign up for this event, they signed up, we had let them know that there's going to be 5 winners.
Right, like a lottery.
Right, this was the online event, the people who attended before it started. Okay.
Right.
So go ahead.
5 people were going to win a special prize, which was the audiobook version of your 3rd book,
Meeting the Real You.
How to Live a Guided Life, Meeting the Real You.
Okay. Did you bring the book over, Ray? No?
No, I didn't. But
okay, then I'll go.
Why don't you go get that book? And then you can do our drum roll, too, and I'll announce the winners here.
All right.
Who else joined us? Barbara Ann joined us. Hi, Barbara Ann.
Nice.
She says, I'm here, too. I needed to hear that message right now.
Oh, God.
There's no accidents that you showed up tonight.
So here's the paperback version of that book, and it's available on Amazon. But the premium version of Meeting the Real You is the audiobook version. And that's the version that the 5 people won, right, Ray?
Right. Okay. Tell them a little bit about this. How's that book put together? Okay,
this is channeled from my spirit guide angels. These are channeled messages from my spirit guides, and a little paragraph at the end about how I talk about what they just told you, how it works in your life. So it's not just a message where you kind of go, well, I wonder if that's what it meant or whatever. I explain how it works.
Okay. Why don't you read one? Read a little short one there.
Well,
yeah, give them a taste. This is a great book. All 5-star reviews.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, well, this ties into tonight. Chapter 2, Truth is your clean slate. You've heard me talk about the guides, the way they describe themselves. They are truth and love. And this is the guides talking. There are only 2 important things in your world. We would tell you there are only 2 important things in your world, truth and love. With love, you can have caring, compassion, and respect for all that exists in your world. Without it, you have the opposite, which is hatred. There's so much of that in the world now. It's ridiculous. Find my spot. Hatred expresses itself in not caring about others, not showing compassion to people or animals, selfishness, and all the needless suffering that results because of a lack of love. You know, too many times in this world, we see love used as a weapon instead of love being unconditional, like it is when we experience it from our guides. The truth is self-evident. It is what's true in everything you do. The opposite of truth is lying. How much of that do we see in the world today? Oh my God. Lying, for some, has become an art form. Everything from little white lies to the most powerful people in the world lying to their citizens and other countries. In between, there's a lack of trust and emotion. Lying leads to all the troubles that exist today. If there were just these two things, love and truth, to follow as the guideline for your life, there would be no wars, no famine, no poverty, and no sickness that couldn't be addressed. We come from pure love and truth. It is our option. It is our only option. When you walk with us, you will learn how important these two things are. And this is what I wrote about how it works. The truth and love are both painstakingly real. This is the real thing, okay? You must be 100% present to fully experience them. There can be no distractions, no manipulations or strategies to outsmart them, or pretending or cheating. You must be fearless. You must be you, pure and simple. Now, what did I talk about tonight? Being you, being fearless, being so strong, being so solid in who you really are, and connected back together again. Only then do you have the power to pull off the life you intended to live before you got here, to pull it off, okay? And when you get to the end of your life, you are ready to move on. And you know where you move on to? You move on to where you came from, to where you came from. You move on right back into the cycle all over again, okay? It's just a cycle, you guys. It's like this behind me. It just keeps moving. It keeps pulling you that way.
It's your soul's urge.
Perfect, Ray. That's exactly what it is. It's a natural phenomenon. It's who you are. Okay.
All right. And the other good thing about winning the audiobook is you read it.
I do.
She narrates all of her own audiobooks.
So tell them who won, Ray.
All right, here we go. Drum roll, please. We have 5 winners who won a copy of How to Live a Guided Life, Book 2, Meeting the Real You, the audiobook.
Yeah.
Number 1.
And you don't have to join. You don't have to get an Audible subscription.
No, I'll send everybody. I'll send everybody a free promo code with the instructions on how to redeem it on Audible
without having to get a subscription to Audible.
Right. Okay. So here we go. Number 1, Bright Lee Gonzalez. Ta-da. Number 2, Sharon Bronling. Yeah.
She signed up last.
She did. She was the last one in the door. She won.
She did.
Number 3, Electa Kearney.
Electa, yes.
4, Susan Cavas.
Great.
And number 5, Jay Handy.
Jay. Okay.
You gotta have a guy.
And if any of you are watching that one tonight, when Ray will send you your instructions and your code to redeem to get your book. If you've already received, you already have the book. If you already have the audio book, a lot of people bought all my books once they understood what I was doing. You can these are transferable, so you can take the code and the instructions, and if you want to give it as a holiday gift to somebody because you've already got it, then for the book, then you can do that. Okay? You'll
Books
be able to
make great gifts.
So make sure you make a note to them about that.
I got that. Transfer. I made it right here. Transferable.
It's transferable, Ray. Okay. Okay. Is there anything else about it that you wanted to mention, Ray? Before
No, I don't think so. I'll get those out tomorrow.
Okay, that sounds good. So congratulations to the winners.
Congratulations to all of our winners.
And we love having you guys, and I really appreciate the support, all right, as I move forward with this project. Okay, so next Tuesday, November 19th, join me right here on my Facebook page, Linda Deir Author. This will be a Q&A and commentary with me and my spirit guides at 6 p.m. Pacific time, just like today. So don't miss it. And let me get out what that's going to be. It's okay. That is in Linda's Weekly Guided Insights. My spirit guides will be talking about anxiety about the future. We talked about that a little bit tonight. Many people have anxiety about the future, but how does that happen? You should not focus on the things you cannot control. That's rule number 1 right there. You guys know that. You should accept everything, that everything is uncertain, not that it's certain. It's supposed to be uncertain. That's part of the fun of being here. Don't you remember? You would remember if you were present, okay? You remember that. You knew that when you first came here. You couldn't wait to start playing in this world and experiencing that. And no amount of worry or guessing will change any outcome. So don't even waste your time doing that. When you reflect on what happened in the past, all uncertainty is eliminated. Well, of course it is. It's in the past and you can see it all now. However, depression replaced the anxiety that you had over it. Okay, so even though you can see what happened in the past, of course you can, what lingers is the feeling around how you experienced it, all right? And that is, that many times turns into depression that replaced the anxiety that you had over it. In other words, just because the past that already happened and it's no longer uncertain doesn't mean you do not have regrets. So you feel that? Do you see how that happens? You must begin to train yourself to eliminate anxiety by remaining present. When you are present, it's impossible to have anxiety because anxiety is about living in the future. It makes you anxious. When you're present, it's impossible to be depressed because that resides in the past. You're present. You're not in the past. So depression can't exist in the present moment. You see that? It's so simple. Many times I've said, it's so simple a baby can do it. It's so simple a baby did do it. That's you.
Babies are powerful.
You did do it. It's not new to you. That's what my point is. This is not new to you. Okay, so that's going to be next week. Don't miss it. And before, okay, what do we have?
Yeah, one more comment.
Okay.
Marie says she has your books on Audible. She loves listening to your voice. Well, you and I have something in common, Marie.
Thank you, Marie. And just a little side note before we do the closing message with the guides, which I always love to do with you guys. To be all you came here to be, find a way to support those who have made a difference in your life. Share this video that we did tonight if I have made a difference in yours. I appreciate your support. Okay, so Ray, what do we have? This is the closing message for, what is it?
Don't let your life take your life.
That's right.
Make a decision, take action, set your priorities.
That's right, and live the life you came here to live. You are going to love this, you guys. I know you have it, or you wouldn't be here with me.
That's right.
All right, and here they go.
Move with power in the direction of your soul's urge. When you start to feel more powerful That's you remembering who you are, who you came here as. Power is not something you get or take from someone else. It's something you remember.
And you know what I do? All I do, I remind you who you are. Isn't that amazing? When I was 20 months old and my spirit guide showed up when my mom almost killed me, and I asked for someone to help me out loud, and they showed up all around me. What they did in communicating to me, because I was only 20 months old, you guys, I didn't have reasoning, but I did remember. I did have my knowing, okay? I did have that. They reminded me who I was. It was life-changing. So I remind you who you are every time you get with me until you remember, just like I did. I know how this works. I know how they worked with me and how they got through to me and how I realized myself. They didn't teach me anything. I don't teach you anything. All I do is I help you realize who you are. After all, the 4 questions, the 4 qualifying questions in the journal, the companion journal to Guided, My Guided Journey, is always, and no matter where you're working in these books, part 2 or 3, it's always the 4 qualifying questions. Write down whatever that is that you needed to write down. That was important. Then write down what you felt from it, what you felt. So when I met my guides and I asked for help and they came through for me, they were all there, and I felt the love, the truth that they were. I realized myself. And I was strong enough from that to take the action and take it every time. What happens is you get to know who you are because you are back. Now you are one. You are not lamed up by just part of you's here. Okay, and the other part of you it retreated years ago. It's terrified to come back here. That is until you really became conscious and aware of what you need to do. So this part of you can trust you again, and then you guys can merge and you can really do this life, all right? We will see you next
Tuesday.
Love being with you guys.
I love these Tuesday nights.
Tell your friends and share the video.
Share the video. Tell your friends. Books make great gifts for the holidays.
They do. Yep, and I've got 5 of them out there now.
5 of them.
They're all interconnected books.
Right.
Right.
3 of them are audio books. The other 2 are journals.
Right.
You have to write in them.
Of course, you have to write in these. Yeah, but they're powerful. You guys, we love you guys.
Love you guys. Be kind to everybody.
We'll see you next week.